How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we have episode 2 of my Road to Finals discussion video I'm going to be doing up for the time for the weeks up until finals, so you can get all prepared like I would. And for episode 2, the topic we're going to have is what to expect for the meta. So we're going to have a look and see what we're going to expect when it comes to finals for what the meta is going to be like. But before we do get into it, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Helps me out greatly, and it's much appreciated too. And it helps me get to my goal of 1,000 subs, which is coming up to halfway there. And we do get the halfway there, which is 500. I'll not only will be doing a giveaway, I'll also be detailing what I'll be doing at 1,000 subs, which you're going to be interested in finding out about. So let's get into the video and have a look. What do we expect for the meta? And when it comes to that question, most of you are probably ask, what is meta? Because most people already don't know what meta stands for, and that's fine because I didn't know what it stood for in my long time for like quite a few years when I was playing card games, and not only everybody realizes that. People just see it as meta and just take it for what they like, do what some people do, and just take the word and kind of understand it without knowing what it means. And I'm here to help you understand what it means. So meta, what it stands for is most effective tactics available. So that is what meta is. It's an abbreviation for most effective tactics available. And so if you look at any given format, you got to think which are the most effective and strongest tactics that enable decks to get wins, would help them take down, like, be on top of the format. So as we've seen for the past few tournaments for this month, well, for this format anyway, for 18, we've seen quite a few red decks like take precedence in the top cuts. So like we have seen decks like SS3 top in America, like top win 2 events, but then when it comes down to overall spread, the main decks that are appearing dominantly in the top cuts are mostly 2 red decks, being Sin and Gogeta. So you would say that they are the most effective tactics available because they're getting these players top cut hits, and quite a lot as well, because you keep seeing the same decks come up along. So you want to check for the meta which are the most effective tactics that we have available. And so we're going to have a look at see which ones we have and which ones would be expected for this for finals. And really there's 3 colors that you could probably expect like to be quite high on the list. Like as I said, red is probably the most dominant, but with the ban list, it's not going to be as dominant as it once was, but still dominant. Like it's still going to be taking a lot of spots, but not as hard as it was previously. So if you look into the first lot, the decks you're expecting to see for red, we'll go for red, then we go for the other 2 colors being blue and yellow, because green is more like isn't represented because people just don't seem to like green. So we'll cut that out. Like, if you want to see some green, like what green decks would probably be in, I could add an extension to this episode, if you let me know. But green is not what I expected. It might be a rogue decks, but they're not really meta decks, like really anything in green. But for red, the main one we'll be expecting, the main ones we're expecting to still see, because even though red got hit on the ban list, it was just generically red, and red stuff that doesn't really hit these. Like the red hits don't really affect Sin in that way. Like there's maybe 1 out of many hits on red that really affected Sin, which didn't expect it too much, like a little bit, not too much. And the other red hits probably hit more SS4 together, but they still didn't hit it that much to actually slow it down. Like it still has the bulk of its core strong and with very extremely strong plays. So let's have a look and see what makes them meta. So starting off with SS4, we've got these cards are like some of the biggest plays it has, some of the most strongest and overpowered plays it has. Like, so we've got the SS4 Gogeta, Triumph Together. This is like a boogeyman for the format, because if you play it, because when you're thinking about what you're going to play, you got to think about if it gets to turn 4, which it can get to turn 4 quite easily, especially with the hand and defense that red still has. Like if I establish a board, what's going to happen to it? Most likely, unless you got something to protect yourself against this card, it's going to come down and wipe out your board and push some pressure on your lead, forcing you to like hope you held some super combos or high enough life to take the hits. And that's like a big issue with this. Like getting to turn 4 against this deck means that you got to think about, like, if you establish a board, like is it worth establishing, or like what did your deck do against it? Because this card can just come down when you can't even interact with it and just smash your board. The only real deck that can really Bait It is blue with its Dirty Burst, and Dirty Burst is probably the only trap to this card because they can go to play Dirty Burst. Go to play this card, and you can Dirty Burst in response, meaning they just played this card, now can't attack because Dirty Burst prevents the player. And yeah, and at the moment now, with the errata to Brody Crown, they can't just free play out of the Unison the Brody Crown to just check if you've got in your hand if you've got 2 open, or force you to use an energy so you don't have 2 open for it when you drop this. So that's like a benefit for blue. But as well as that, like if like you got to think about as well, if you've got cards that preemptively before they drop it stop them from using it, they can just do something else. Like they've got so many other plays they can just do. So really the only trap for this card is Dirty Burst. And then they've got powerful cards like the Secret Rare as well, which in combination with the 4-drop, they can drop the check. You can drop this to check your hand, see if you got that, to bait the Dirty Burst if you have it, or even rip. See if you got Dirty Burst and rip something out of your hand. And what good thing in combination with this is normally they bring out the Secret Rare first to rip out a super combo for your hand to see how much combo power you've got, see how many cards are going to rip from your hand for the 8-drop, and then drop the 8-drop to wipe your board, push down on lead. And if you try to combat the 8-drop, you got the still quad strike Secret Rare there, and then the leader is still going to be 25k base from the Secret Rare as well, so you've got that insane defense so where they don't need to use the Z leader. And one of the best ever things is putting you down to 1. If they can just put you down to 1, they've just got the leader card swing which they can go all in on and make it so it's so high you can barely out combo it, which you got to have a hard negate for. And that's always going to put your thing, like even then negating the leader, they still have everything to do, and it puts you on that pressure where if they get a leader swing in against you on 1 life, they just Z lead, pump everything in, Z lead, and then that's it. 'Cause it's very easy for them to make sure they tap themselves out to pull off the C lead, so it's not that big a problem. And this is some of the scariest things from SS4 to expect. And then move on to Sin, the other side of red that is just as scary, is it has these very powerful plays. So it's got one of the worst thing, like you got red SS4 Gogeta for the later game scare of dropping the 8-drop, which can then just annihilate your board and push an uninteractable 35k triple strike at your lead that you can't really use anything apart from super combos to kind of out combo, or unless you want to waste most of your hand. And Sin is the other spectrum where it's got that early game scare where turn 2 while you're on 1 energy, it can drop this 4-drop Sin Shenron, replace itself in the hand by drawing 1 and draw it down for 1, Awaken, and just swing with this, use the haze to put critical on it, and then combo a little bit more, then push through potentially 20 to 30k double strike while you're still a 10k leader with 1 energy open that you're either leaving open to try and use it as a negate for it, or pay for that 1 little cantrip that then leaves you vulnerable to attack. And while it doesn't seem too bad taking a double strike crit early, it does deny you of 2 cards resources while they've still got a huge hand, early pressure, and they still got this 20k double strike on the board which you can't deal with. They can drop another one the next turn, and then the turn after it'd be turn 3 where they drop the second card here, Omega just slam you with a triple striker. So this is the more early game pressure Sin. And Sin was hit less on the ban list because all its loss was resolved renewed to deal with floodgates, but where it goes that early game pressure, if you're not seeing your floodgates early enough, which could be an issue, then you're going to get smashed by this. And you've even got a Z leader as well, which just needs to go down to 3, which is not that hard to do. So if you're not smashing a lead, they're staying at high life, will just pressure you with all these big threats that are hard to deal with. And as well as that, with the Z leader, they can free play out an 8-drop as well. We're also backing up with things like All Might Resistance if they're going for the correct deck, being the red-yellow version. So you gotta watch out for this. Is the more aggressive version as well, dropping cheap threats early, while SS4 is dropping big threats that aren't so cheap, but late that are hard to interact with. And that is it for the red decks. That is really red is just these 2 decks at the moment. So people complain about red in general. It's just these 2 decks, more than just red. They shouldn't come together. But then we have blue, and the main thing we have of blue is the ramp decks that are one of the biggest things because they've got all the defense. They've got so much defense being a blue deck, defend a little bit easier, and plus they've got, as I said, the best way to help deal with some of the red decks. Because red decks, their big boss cards are 8-drops or over 7 drops, and can fall victim to Dirty Burst, which is one of the best cards to help deal with trap in the SS4 Gogeta, the 8-drop. So you have the new reboot ramp one, Goku, you have the Beerus one, which has got a bit of a boost in adversary box, and same with SS4 Vegeta. These are all easy ramp decks to go through. And I'll start off with the Goku. The Goku has easy access ramp to get to its awakening. You can get to its awakening by turn 2, while also getting up to 7, so you can Z lead, and also as well as that, not just Z lead, but trigger double strike crit on its lead. Now, one benefit we have with set 19 not legal is that we don't have the new Gohan secret rare to go with this lead, because that'd be a busted, because the fact that the Gohan could come down, quit your opponent a life if they got more cards in hand after you bounce their board in hand, and also pressure a 40k critical can start twice and make your leader dual attacking as well, which is pretty scary. But you've always got the Whis and Beerus here. The Beerus is getting errata, so you can't just use the infinite draw now with it, which is a good thing, because that was a bit crazy, especially when blue could just, if they don't have anything to play, they just mass a huge hand. And a low hand size is the issue with hand controls of the issue with blue. And you've got Whis that can just play the Beerus straight out from the deck and then draw, replace the card in his hand. And then you've got Beerus if you have it in hand to pay 1 energy, put it in there in your energy and draw to get up to your ramping. And then you can use Zeno to replace that Beerus in your energy, like defend yourself defensively with the Zeno to out combo something and take the Beerus out your energy and put something else down that will withstand, because Beerus is unusable once in rest mode in your energy, and then use that Beerus to then combo off on swings and stuff like that as well. And as well as that, yeah, that is what it does. Just like ramps up the energy really quickly. Use Zeno to replace it so it's actually live energy, and then hits you with big threats as well. And even with the new Goku secret rare as well, to put a lot of pressure on, get that attack and untap your energy as well. And then for Beerus, Beerus gets a nice little boost from this new Whis, which can actually do a nice thing in looping this Zeno super combo by using the Zeno super combo defensively to bounce, do the whole bounce one your energy, put it back down as well, and then Z charge to Zeno. And then since the Whis is just 1 Z energy, that Zeno fulfills it, bringing it out, and then ramping. Then when Whis comes out, it ramps to your energy, that Zeno from your drop back into your energy. Then if you have a second Zeno, you can use that Zeno to bounce the Zeno you just charged back into your energy, back to your hand, and then put something else down and charge that Zeno and keep doing that loop of looping Zeno to keep having that 10k free combo to keep going through and defending easier while also ramping every turn. That's one nice little benefit. And then when you get to 6, you're going to be focusing more with Beerus as well. Beerus is probably the better of the ramp ones, because with its ramp, it's actually going to actually a way to win rather than just a way to stall out and try and play big threats, in the fact that it's got an effect to tap 16 and instantly win the game, like an Exodia effect, like an alternate win condition, which is nice. So having things like this SS4 Vegeta get into 6 energy, so you can bring this out and ramp up your energy even more, and then bring out more Whis and stuff like that, and defend a lot easier, being blue, is really nice as well. So ramping up more, this has better agenda, it has more options to ramp, because it has his Z energy time, like an extra card, extra ramp in the hand, unlike the other ones which need ramp from either cards in the deck need to draw into, or cards, or in its leader, like we'll see in the next one. It just has access to these at any point quite cheaply as well. So this is probably going to be a better ramp deck, and it has even new better tools as well. And then for the last one, we have SS4 Vegeta. This one is reliant on getting your leader swings in, but which is also easier to counter as well, because you just need a negate on the lead to stop him hitting, and it's not going to be ramping. And if you can stifle that long enough, then or you've out combo the attack, you're in for a good time. And it does get a little bit of a benefit by the fact that it's got a new Bulma, which can act as a 10k combo for free, because you just combo it on your turn, pay the 1 blue to gain 5k and then untap the energy, so you've got to then add more onto it so you can at least push for a 20k on base side while still having the energy usable. And you have things like Ultra Instinct Goku Kamehameha to swing, use the energy to put your attack up to a high, and also replace the card as well. And then it's got same things as like SS4 Vegeta, or even big threats as well to play once you wrap up enough energy, and you don't have to do much above swing with the leader as well. So that way, if your opponent's attacking, like, as long as they don't negate, you can keep pushing this through to ramp up to play bigger things and then defend a lot easier. So that's one scary thing. And then we go into yellow. Not just yellow first, but also blue does have some generically good things as well. Like they have the Boo Unison, which is an insanely good unison. They get them also extra draw and extra defense. And now they've also got for an anniversary box, generically every blue deck has SS Goku Black. All you need to do is be a mono blue lead and have 3 or more Z energy. You can play this card at either player's turn and activate battle for 1 blue, and it puts people in a predicament where if they want to be able to swing with a 4 cost or less and go in on it, they have to watch out, because against blue deck they can just drop this Goku Black, remove it from the board while replacing card in their hand for 1 energy, and then establish them a double strike 20k swing for their next turn. So going into finals, if you're going in all in and your opponent's playing a blue deck with 1 energy open, and you're going all in on a 4-drop or less, be wary, because if it doesn't have barrier, then you're going to be susceptible to this. And as well, as I said, Dirty Breast being the amazing card that can trap in SS4 like big threats when they drop them, bait them out, and stop them from being used. So that is it for blue, and now we actually go on to yellow. So yellow, I feel, has 2 pretty strong decks in the upcoming format, and that is the Star Goku and Toppo. And like, it might be silly looking at these decks. People might be thinking, what about Yellow Trunks? Well, Yellow Trunks can do well. Like, I don't rate it personally, but you can rate it as well. You can give me like reasons why you feel it's better or as good as these two. But I feel these two are very good yellow picks if you want to try, because Toppo has the whole benefit of locking people into only 1 swing like 1 battle card play a turn, either player's turn, which is it has some very good options to help hold off and go. And you can do a leader lock as well, as well. So starting off with the Goku, we've got these really nice cards it got. So like with any yellow deck, it's got Mecha Robotic Repulse to put like attacks to help in every deck now. Every red deck apart from this is a Vegito lead. Then you don't have to, like, this is a lot more usable now, unless they're like siding or maining cards like alternatives now. And you even got things like this Son Goku to lands unknown to come down as a dual attack 15k with the unison, because you can have a unison to be able to play it. Well, hopefully to play it and then get a 5k boost from it, and then evolve straight into it the Ape Goku as well, to remove things to keep pushing. And you also got a lock with it, and I say a lock because you can lock your opponent leader out attacking and establish it from turn 3 onwards by being able to drop this Goku out by just paying 2 Z energy and 3 red, to then choose your opponent's leader that's in rest mode and make it so it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. And since most decks they awaken so early, they awaken by turn 2, this should be able to stop them unless they can Z-Awaken. And you can keep this every turn, because if you drop this and have that, you can swing with it as well, have a 25k double deflect barrier, which can stifle one of your opponent's cards they play for the turn, what's in rest mode, which is really nice by using second auto. And you also have the leader, just whenever it swings, it can you rest one of your cards to rest all your opponent's non-energy, which includes their leader. So every time, if the next turn after you've dropped this, they can't attack with the lead, you can still swing with your lead, rest one of your cards to rest their lead, and plus their ever battle cards and units and stuff, that all the cards that are not energy. And then be able to drop this again. Now the leader's in rest again, you can keeping it down, so they can't attack with the leader to get resources, especially in decks like SS4. They're going to be relying on their leader to swing, play the 1 drop out, combo that off to get the free draws. And with that, they'll just have to use the unison to drop the 1 and won't get as big a hand as before. And while you're just establishing this 25k barrier deflect, which can help to suffer your opponent's plays, making them come in and be rested. And just while having these 25k barrier to swing with as well, so you've got pressure plus defending yourself as well. I will have a deck list as well for some of these decks I'll be looking at for finals later on in the series or in a separate video. So if you want to check that out, check that out. And then we go over to Toppo, and Toppo is a really nice deck. I feel I kind of do want to give it a try. We'll be testing it at some point once we get the anniversary box stuff, because you have these unisons like Vegeta, Unison Fury that stifles any deck. Like if you're going against a deck like Sin or SS4, like the main ones we expect, they normally play things higher than energy early. It's like 4 drops earlier before turn 4, and 8 drops way before they ever get to turn 8. And having this Vegeta out can help stifle and make it so they can't attack with them. So they can bring them up but can't attack with them. And while Sin can still rip for unisons, with this new Dispo Hyperspeed Strike, they can't even attack into it, which is good. And so if with the Vegeta Unison on the board and Dispel, they can't attack in the Unisons, which means you can't use their 4-drop to swing with it to minus the Unison. They just rely on your leader to just minus it once a turn, which you then gain a marker and use a marker, so that's fine. Like they have to hold off, and you can keep establishing units if it dies in the end. And Hyper Strike is a 20k barrier, that's 20k as well, which then what's in rest mode, which you get attacking to their board with, or removing their board, you get to like defend the units so you can't even attack into it, not with lead, not with anything, and just protect this quite easily. And one of the good things as well, because you have units on board, you even have things like Release from Evil you can play for free, so if they can swing with something, you can always Release from Evil, negate the skills on it, and make it so it can't restand. So if they got dual attackers they wanted to go with, or things that have skills, you can just shut that off and not have to worry about play it for free. And you even have every yellow tools, like you can even go further than that, and have things like Slug you can bring out, which will go over the next one. So things like Slug, the Piccolo Gohan super combo as well, you can have this to help defend easier with yellow, and also make it put more annoying conditions on your opponent, like having Lord Slug to deny them from having draws, which is easy to put off either yellow deck. Like even in the Toppo, you can play this turn free since you'll be locked out yourself of playing more than one battle card. You can even hardcast that for free, next turn swing it, and they have to choose whether to go for your Slug, try to go for your Dispo, or trying to get rid of Unison, which have to go for Dispo to go for. And you'll be shutting off draws because they can't attack outside the lead as well. And as well, the Gohan Piccolo's like another way that like yellow can always either defensively out-combo any big swing, like defensively, or even just finish off games by just comboing all in with this and a Champa that put a lot of it for a very few cards and help finish you off. So you have to watch out when it comes to kill swings against yellow as well. And that, I think, is all. So let me know if this was helpful, how you feel with this. Also, thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll keep you up. And I'll see you in the next one, being episode 3. So bye for now.